Hey guys, it's Region 4 Outreach and Communications Coordinator Matt Cameron, and I am grinding some deer today. I just want to show you how I did it. I've got probably the oldest grinder known to man. It should be in the Smithsonian, probably, but it still works, so I still use it. I sanitize it before and after I start grinding. And what I've got here is about 25 pounds of deer meat that I've trimmed off. Both of these bowls here, and I like an 80% deer, 20% fat ratio. But I just cut the meat into about 1 to 2 inch strips, and it almost feeds itself if you do it that way. If you get them too big, they get hung up in there and they just spin around and around. And if that happens, then you've got this little deal here. I don't know, I call it a plunger. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but you can stuff the meat down in there. And you can see that I'm putting them into a cooler here. And the reason I pick a cooler is because it holds a large quantity, and I'm not constantly swapping bowls out. And also, the cooler lid acts as a shield, because sometimes the grinder will spit the meat out all the way onto the back of the chair there. So that cooler catches a lot of it. So I'm just going to grind away here, and every little bit I throw some beef fat in it just to help it mix. And then when I get done, I'm going to mix all that together, and we're going to grind it again. Now I'm going to mix up the fat and the deer, and I like to wear rubber gloves. If you have any, put it on, because this beef fat, as you well know, is very greasy, and your hands are just going to be a caked mess when you get done. And it takes a lot of paper towels to get cleaned up if you don't have a set of gloves around. But you can do it barehanded if you want to. All right, come on over. All right, so what I'm going to do here is just start kneading it together, just like kneading dough. And if you need a good hand or a forearm workout, this is it. Here's another reason I like to use a cooler for this. It's because you're turning this stuff over constantly, and if you're trying to do it in a bowl, it's going to overflow and it's going to make a big mess. So a clean, sanitized cooler really works for this. You can also use like a Tupperware tote. I've used those as well, but I'm just going to do this a few minutes, try to get it as mixed as thoroughly as possible, and then we're going to run it through the grinder again. So what I've got here is an old vitamin bottle, and it fits really tightly in there, and you have to have it in order to grind it the second time. Now you can get away with it on the first time because you've got your meat cut in strips, and the fat is cut in strips, and that grinder will just grab it and pull it in. Now you're having to force the meat down in it. All right, let's get started. And grinding it the second time, it's just going to mix it so much better. You have that much fat and that much meat to try to put together. It's about impossible to get it even the first time. So this way, this comes out much more even as well. I've got a clean, sanitized cooler here because I, of course, had this other one filled up. So picked that other one up, got it sanitized, and the only thing I use this cooler for is for deer meat. So it doesn't get anything else in it, doesn't get nasty, and I always sanitize it before and after I use it, and we've been doing this for years. We've never had any problems. You can see how good that turned out. It's very very well ground, very well mixed, I guess you could say now, and it's just going to cook a lot easier. It's going to patty up better if you're going to make it into like a hamburger patty. It's 80% deer, 20% beef fat, so it's going to taste pretty similar to beef. Some of y'all are probably saying, why in the world would you take that nice lean game and put beef fat with it? Well, the people in my household and the people that I give it to are used to eating beef fat, so it just tastes better to them. And it just cooks better too, because deer is so lean that if you don't mix some fat or put some oil in the skillet with it when you cook it, it's easy to overcook and it gets dry on you. Then you're going to be really disappointed that you ruined your deer meat. So this is just how I like to do it. Some folks may use 85-15, even 90-10. I feel like 80-20 Cooks up pretty nice. It's probably not so healthy for you, but it tastes delicious. Okay guys, so here we are. We're gonna bag this meat up now, and I just want to show you the system that I use. You know, there's nothing special about putting it in the bags, but one time we ordered what we thought were vacuum sealer bags, and we got these instead, and it was actually a good mistake because I really like this system. It's vacuum zipper bags from Food Saver. And how it works is you just put the meat in the bags. I like to put about 3 pretty good handfuls in there. Try to keep it out of the zippers. It's like a Ziploc bag. Mash it against the side of your cooler. That flattens it out so it goes in there a little bit smoother. If you got some other help, it makes this job a lot cleaner. But once you seal it up, you take this, it's a bag sealer, I guess. And the way these things work is they've got this little inlet right here on the side, and the air sucks through that and it seals it up. So let me show you how this works real quick. You just take it, press it down flat, push this button. You can kind of hear it change pitch right there, and that means most of the air is out of it. Then you can flatten it out, mash it on out around that little inlet there, and then those stack in the freezer pretty nice. So to me, this is much faster than using a traditional vacuum sealer. I've got one, I still use it, but I primarily use this system right here, and I like it. So anyhow, that's pretty much all there is to grinding up some deer and some beef fat, and we should end up with about 30 packs here, and it's about a 1 pound package, give or take. I don't weigh them out, but that's about as much as we'll use in one meal. And we love to use this meat in tacos and chili, spaghetti, anything that you use ground beef in. This is a great substitute for it. Anyway, that's how I grind my deer meat. Hope you learned something, and stay hunting, stay wild.